Get all of your NECA Ash vs. Evil Dead figures at Big Bad Toy Store at the link in the description down below.
Dragon Ball, Pokemon, Kaiju, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews.
Hey there, collectors. It's Steven here, and welcome back to another horrified review for you, where today we are going to be taking a look at NECA's Ash Williams Asylum version from Ash vs. Evil Dead, the now canceled TV series. So, way to go, stars. Anyway, this is Ash from one of the iconic scenes in the anime where he went into the asylum, where Bill's Balls controlled him for a little bit, or at least that's what we think, and that brought about Ashy Slashy, which I also reviewed NECA's Puppet. You're going to want to check that out. Anyway, this figure, it's pretty light on accessories, and to be honest, we already had an Ultimate Ash Williams. This one worth picking up. Let's take a look to see whether or not he's worth adding into your collection. Just looking at this version of Ash Williams, wow, there's a lot going on here, and it looks like an absolute mess. There are belts, there are bolts, there are ripped pants, there's an undershirt, tattered clothing. There's so much going on here, and NECA did it well. Yeah, I'm talking about the actual design, not what NECA did. So, yeah, in terms of quality control, there are a couple of small little paint blips here and there, but they did a really nice job. The pants are all red and bloody in some of the gaps. The belts are painted perfectly fine with nice gold for the actual buckles. Then we have the chainsaw, which looks great. Bruce Campbell's face sculpt, head sculpt, overall fantastic. NECA really knocked this one out of the park, and it's worth taking a closer look at. The default head sculpt is actually a perfect one for Ash Williams because he's cocking a little bit of a half smile. Now, the eye placement specifically for the pupils, it's not really that great. Maybe they should move one of the eyes over a little bit more, but to be honest with you, that's just something small that I am a little upset about. Why? Because they also included a 5 o'clock shadow. You can't do that on action figures, but NECA did it. Yep, I'm freaking out over a NECA figure, including a 5 o'clock shadow. How cool is that? The only gripe is the pepper that they sprinkled into Bruce's hair here, or Ash's hair, I'm sorry. They just kind of took a gray paintbrush and they just added some dry brush to black hair sculpt. Okay. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get to the nitty-gritty of the figure where we actually take a look at the torso. Ripped clothing, plenty of belts with buckles that are painted just perfectly fine. We've got straps with silver belts and buckles and whatnot on them. Yeah. Whether it's tattered clothing or just a unique detail, not only did NECA paint this figure rather well, but the sculpted detail is just very cool. The only issue that I have sort of with the sculpt is that the left arm, they kind of took that from another figure. I'm not sure exactly which one, but as you will see, the hand does not hold the boomstick entirely properly, and it even stresses the trigger finger, so yeah, odd choice there. Looks a little thin. But anyway, the rest of the figure looks really great, and I'm surprised NECA was able to hold this level of quality at release. Articulation for Ash here, even though he's gone to the loony bin. To be perfectly honest with you, it's pretty similar to the Ultimate Ash Williams from Ash vs. Evil Dead, that is. With a couple of minor changes due to the way he's dressed and, just new engineering from the ground up. So what do we have? Well, the head plugs in on a peg, and that peg is on a ball joint, so we can turn Ash's head from side to side, forward and back, and then this joint here, the actual neck itself, plugs into the body on a ball joint as well, it looks like. So we just get a little bit, tiny bit of movement, right? So we can get Ash to look up about that far, look down about that far, side to side, rock the head. That's all fine and dandy. Now for the shoulders, they plug into the body on a peg. So this allows you a bit of swivel movement. Yeah? So that's cool. Then there are hinges allowing you to raise and lower the arms. Cool beans. The only problem is they're kind of just in an arch. So he can't really T-pose. That's a bit upsetting. This arm is also pretty stuck in terms of articulation up there at the shoulder, so Yeah. We do have a double elbow hinge on both arms, but this one, we don't seem to have as much clearance. And there's also swivels there as well. That's where the bicep swivel is going to be on both arms. So just do keep that in mind, that is about as far up as the right arm is going to go, and that the left. So if you're looking to have this Ash reach back and grab his boomstick, he really can't do that. One, just because of the way things get posed, and two, this is hard plastic, not pliable vinyl. So the boomstick's not going to fit in there. Yeah, it's dumb. Anyway, as we continue on down for the left arm, we do have hinge and swivel at the wrist. So just keep in mind the movement here. He's going to be able to move his hand that way and that way. He can't move it that way or that way. So like this, he can't do that. For the right arm, we do have the robotic attachments and whatnot that are plugged in, and they're on swivels. So mostly the chainsaw is going to be what you can and cannot remove. So just keep that in mind. So if you want to plug in the robot hand, I think you're going to be able to do that just fine. We don't really have a hidden joint in here, but we do have a waist joint, which is a ball joint. Twist and turn from side to side. Pretty cool. The legs plug in on swivels, so legs go out about that far, back about that far, because his butt is vinyl or soft plastic. So yeah, can't really get his legs to go back. But they do have a swivel, so you can twist and turn his legs at the thighs. This one completely stuck, doesn't want to move for me. Not yet, anyway. Knees, single hinge, but they're also on swivels. Again, this one is stuck, as is the ball-jointed ankle here on this leg. But on this leg, we're pretty good. We can get ankle rocker movement just like that. So if you want to get this Ash into a couple unique poses, you definitely can. Just keep in mind, quality control may vary, and you may need to follow this video up here to help you heat up some joints. This way you can move Ash around. But all in all, at the end of the day, Ash can get into some pretty fun poses when he's going to hunt Pablo and Kelly, NECA figures, which will never be released. Which is really sad. Now it's time for accessories, and Ash comes with the boomstick and an alternate head. Yep, it's pretty light, but to be honest with you, this version of Ash really doesn't have a whole lot of options to come with. Maybe an Ashy Slashy puppet, which would have been pretty cool, but yep, c'est la vie. Anyway, the alternate head sculpt for Ash Williams here is a serious I'm going to get you a face, which is pretty cool, actually. It's almost just as good as the default head sculpt. So kudos to NECA on that one. And if you're wondering how to swap them out, all you got to do is just pull the head, pop it off, and then pop the new one on. And what's really cool is if you do happen to have the ultimate Ash from Ash vs. Evil Dead, the heads are interchangeable. So go ahead and have fun. Skin tone is slightly off, but that's okay because it's only slightly off. Now we have the boomstick, which it's the boomstick, and it doesn't really fit in the left hand. You kind of got to force it and cram it in there, and there is a stress mark on the trigger finger. So, yeah, just got to be really careful with that. You don't want to break anything. Now we're going to round this review out with a size comparison with the other figures from Ash vs. Evil Dead Series 2, and some other figures you just might have in your collection. So this way you can see how big Ashy Boy here is. And, yeah, he's a pretty decent size. So, buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. To be honest with you, this is probably one of the best looking Ash Williams figures not only NECA has ever made, but is probably available on the market just because of the level of detail and the price point. The articulation does leave a bit to be desired, but to be honest with you here, at his age, I don't think he's going to be doing too many backflips. But then again, it's an action figure, so you can kind of do whatever you want with it. The only gripe that I have with this is we're never going to get a miniature Ashy Slashy. Yeah. So whether or not you're looking to get this to represent the iconic scenario when Ash goes to the Asylum, or if maybe you're just looking for a return of evil Ash, yeah, you can make believe here, folks. This is pretty much worth the purchase.
Well, folks, that's the end of this review. Thanks for watching, and be sure to follow me on social media to catch more behind-the-scenes shenanigans and updates. The end card should be popping up now with more hand-selected STR goodness for you to watch, so check out some of those videos. Be sure to check the description too to see where you can buy this figure or others like it, and some cool links like the credits for this video and other ways you can help out the channel. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.